is Ethan Yoder with DB Services. Today I'm going to be talking about the FM Data Migration Companion tool. If you want more information on this, we actually have a link to a previous article we've written in the description below, so go ahead and take a look at that. If you don't know, the data migration tool is a file or a set of files, depending on the operating system, where you can, move things from a source file to a clone file, all that good stuff. Little filler. Okay. So yeah, so now it's time to open up the actual thing. Let's see. So yeah, let's take a look at the companion tool. So you'll see that this is just, right now it's a blank screen, great. There's also a preferences area. So in here, we can actually put in the data migration tool, right? For Windows and Mac, you notice for Mac it's just one, for Windows it's multiple. So for Mac it's just an executable file, but for Windows it's a multiple series of files. We also have a base elements plugin, which helps us do other sorts of operations. So those will come with the system, but the other stuff doesn't. If you have to do migrations on other machines, you can do stuff great. So now that we've looked at our preferences, let's create a migration. So the very first thing is to connect your data migration tool to this record here. So when I select the file, desktop, so we go to there. So let's open up this guy right there. The next thing is so this other part is you want to create a folder. So this folder is a timestamp folder that allows you to, put your files in there and keep things organized. So I'm going to open up this and I'm going to click select. Nothing there yet. So once we have that, we want to go over here and we want to look and we'll say, okay, hey, we got some files. Great. So you're going to see that it's created some files for us. Right? So we have clone files and source files. So I'm just going to move those over. Move my clones first. Oh, no. Whoopsie daisy. Now I'm going to move my source files over. Okay. So that I have all my files in there, I'm going to minimize that and close this. So now that we have this set up, I'm going to actually put clone in here. What this does is it just allows you to do cool stuff. If you actually open up this thing, you'll see more of what I'm talking about, but basically it just does stuff. So I'm going to check for my files. It's going to find all of them, but you'll see that I don't have any of my account passwords or encryption keys put in. So I'm actually going to give this all default account information because they all have the same login. I'm going to do that. Great. That's all set up, but it still doesn't show up because we still need to put it in the settings. So we're going to click use default migration settings for all migrations, and then this one right here too. So you see that that fills in the rest of these here. We also have different options for the migrations, so we can override existing files if they exist, or we can ignore certain things. We can also talk about verbose mode and quiet mode and all the other stuff, so we'll just fill our time here. Okay, great. And so now that we have all these together, we can click Run Migration. So we can either do run all migrations, or you can just run a single migration, which will just run one for you. But I'm just going to run all of them at once. Great. So you'll see there, it's going to create all of these for us. It's going to run them one by one. So you'll see that it just goes 2, 3, 4, 5, and just goes through these like so. And so yeah, I'm not going to finish that because that makes total sense. But okay, so that's what it looks like on Mac. On Windows, it's a pretty similar process. I've just sort of duplicated that same thing over here. So I'm going to run this migration. So you'll also notice that I have too many files here. So on Mac and Windows, they have different counts or whatever. So I'm just going to run them all individually. And when I do that, you'll see that I get this window that pops up. So I can run them in batches basically. So I'll click Run Next Migration. It's going to run all of those for us. It's going to do as many as it can, and that'll keep running for whenever. But then if I click the next one, it's going to pick up right where it supposedly left off from the last time and finish doing the migrations for me. And you'll notice that once this is done, if I look in my, not that folder, if I look in my data migrations folder, you'll see in my output I have several of the files that I've created. Um, and so yeah, that's pretty much